Hey guys, Amy with Leap of Faith Crafting here, and today I am partnering with Cricut to bring you some information about Cricut Design Space. So today I'm going to go through with you my top 10 favorite things in Cricut Design Space, things you can do. So if you're new to Cricut, just getting started with it, feel a little bit overwhelmed in the design space, I'm here just to kind of get you into it and realize that how easy and user-friendly it really is. There's so many great things that it can do. So I'm just going to give you a few things, and then I'll link to some other videos below that go more in depth in each topic, and hopefully that this will get you started in it. So come with me into Cricut Design Space. And my first favorite thing about Cricut Design Space is Cricut Access. So this is a paid subscription for Cricut. So it starts at about, I think, $8 a month or so. And anything that has this little A on it is what you can get in Access. So there are a ton of things. If you go into make any project, these are all ready to make projects. And then 3D, and so you'll see anything with these A's here is included. If it doesn't have an A, so like this one, if you want to open that one up, it will say it's $1.99. So, but all of these other ones here that have the little A means Access. So just paying for the subscription, you have tons of options here to get started. Probably the easiest way if you're just getting into Cricut and don't know a whole lot about it. If you just start making any of these, it tells you exactly what to do. And then even in the images and the fonts, you have a ton of those to work with. So as I'm talking about this, I'm leading into my second favorite thing, which is my ready to make projects. So this is the absolutely easiest way for you to make something. And every Cricut that you get, if you're new, you will get a certain amount of free ready to make projects. So if you go into this drop down, a lot of them, like here, free for Cricut Explore Air, for the Explore 1, and for the Maker. So I have the Maker hooked up. So if I go into this will open up all of these things that are free to me. Even if I don't have access, these would all be free. So you can see you can start out making a good amount of stuff. And these all have directions and super easy to get started. So I have made quite a few of these things in here. I started out, I've made this wreath here. I've made this little zipper pouch, a couple of these for friends, which was fun. So if you go into it, it has all of these directions, exactly what you need, everything to cut, and then even pictures here that you can hover over and tells you exactly what to do. So that is, like I said, makes it super easy, and you can print it out and just get started making things. So if you come down here and just go into Cricut Access, this will bring up all of what's available and access for projects, because we are in the projects right here. So this is another way that you can come in and see exactly everything that you can get into. So related to projects, you can also go into what's called the Cricut Community projects. So these are great projects that are just uploaded by crafters like you and me. So I have a few of them in here too, and so these people will design in Cricut Design Space and then just share them with people, because we love sharing things and we love helping other people. So you can come in here and see how people make things. And some of them are even available with access too. So like this, and you'll come in, and when you make it, if you don't have access, it will say how much it costs. To home here, you can see even down on here, this is the Cricut Community here. And if you go into View All, this is where you can find a whole bunch. Okay, so getting into my fourth one is the Cricut App. So if you're on an iPad or a phone, you can download the Cricut App and you can design directly from that. So that's a fun thing to do if you don't have a laptop or computer and need to design from just an app. So getting into Design Space itself. So my fifth thing that I love here is just the canvas. So up here you will see it's called, a canvas is just your workspace. So there are two ways you can open it. You can click on the canvas up here or click on this plus button and this opens up a canvas. So this is just your blank screen that you get to create anything you want. And so on your canvas, some of my favorite things are these templates here. So you can choose a template and these are just backgrounds of different things you could be making. So a lot of times I will be making shirts. So I'll come in and pick like a classic t-shirt. And it tells you they're for reference only. And then you can pick what size you want them to be. So if you're making something for a child, and then you can even pick the size and the color. So there you have that. So I'm going to so this actually is another favorite part of mine. This is the zoom down here. So you have your minus and your plus. So if you want to make it bigger, you just zoom it in. And then, like I said, there's a lot of other different type of templates in here. So these are shoes. So if you're designing something to put on shoes, you can do that and put different sizes. So just browse through here and possibly anything you can think of will be in here. So drinking glasses is another one I use a lot. There's all different types of shirts too, pillows, really anything you can think of. And again, on these drop downs, it has all the different sizes. And then over here on the colors, you can change the color to your background so you can see, really picture what your design will look like. So then in Design Space, so that's the template button. So then projects, if you click this, this will just bring up what we are in, all the categories, and you can come down here and view all the different categories there is and also search for projects. So in images, this is where you're going to find images to put on your canvas. Up here, I use a search all the time. So you probably know what you're going to kind of make when you come in. Say we're going to make something for a teacher. So you can type in teacher, and then it will load all the teacher, a bunch of things that have to do with teacher. So let's say I'm going to pick this one. So I'm just going to click it and just insert the image. So I still have my pillowcase background. So say you were going to make a pillow. You can see what that looks like. And down here is my template right here. So if I click on it, I'm going to change the color. Let's just do to a gray. And then to really see the whole thing, again, you can come down and zoom it out, or you can zoom it back in. And you can click on it and size it and make it bigger. So that's where all the images are. Text, when you click on it, you're going to open it and all your text comes up here. So you can just type anything you want. And up here is going to be your drop down with all the different texts in your system and your size, your space, all that. So I have another video on all things text because all this stuff, there's a lot more to explain, but I just kind of want to give you the basics of where everything is. Shapes, another thing on the left-hand side. Again, here is all the shapes. Shapes are really fun to put them together and make different things. And you can be really creative with that. And then there's the upload button. Coming up to number 6, another thing that I like is that you can buy just one thing at a time on here. So it didn't used to be that way. You used to have cartridges. So say if I go into an image, let me see one that I don't have access to here. So a lot of these will say free, and Cricut usually will have some stuff that's free. Okay, so say I was going to come in and I wanted to make this shirt. So like I said, $1.49 right here. So once you buy this and pay for this file right here, you have it. So you would never have to buy that again. So, and then this will prompt me when I go to check out to pay for it. So right here it says purchase, and you can easily link a credit card to this. So if I went up to here, let me get out of this. So if you click on your 3 buttons up here, it'll bring up your profile, and under that you can go to account details. And this is where you'll have, you can payment settings right here. You can add a credit card in, and then so every time you check out, it will just be billed there. Okay, so coming back here, so that's a great thing about it, that you don't have to buy a cartridge anymore. You can just pay as you go. My other favorite thing that I was kind of showing you is the filters up here, especially with the text. Said you can, when you go up to pretty much any of these drop downs, there is a filter up here, and you can filter it to my fonts. If you're wanting to cut something with a shadow layer, you can click on multi-layer, and all of these will come out. And again, in here, anything with the A is Cricut Access. So if you have the subscription, you can get any of those. So if I were to click on this, I don't have this, so this would actually charge me when I went to cut it out. You can also go, if you're just wanting to write, use your write function. You can go there, and all of the ones that you can use to write will come up. So you'll see there. And then this, when you hit writing, you'll see that this actually style turns to writing, and it turns a draw over here. So the filters also work with the images. So like I said, the teacher one before, or say you want a turtle, you can type in turtle, and over in the filters, I will click on my images, and then you can also do like free ones, or if you have Cricut Access, you can put there, and then you can also go down into the different types. Say if you wanted a 3D, we're getting too specific here, but you'll see the ones that come up here. Okay, so the 8th thing that I like is the upload button. So this, you can upload a lot of things that you find online. And you would go into upload image and browse, and then find. Let's see if I have something easy. Say if I was going to upload this, and then it makes it pretty easy. You can click on one and continue, and then I'm going to push the minus button to zoom out, and then here you're going to erase it. So this is how you clean it up, and you just click on the outside, and then to get all of these out, you click in here, and then you can save. It's not going to save the inside. As you see when I go, it's going to come out as a shadow, and that's what these do, but you can save it as a print and cut and print it out just like this, or I could save it like this and just cut it out as that. You have to be real careful on the uploads if you're selling things for copyright infringement. A lot of things that you find on Google are going to be copyrighted, so it makes it hard to sell those. So just be careful and look that up when you do it. So the next thing I like is the preview screen. So say Just going to make this turtle. So when I go to make it, so these are all the preview screens here. So say you can move these around depending on if you just have like a scrap of vinyl you're going to use or whatever. You can even rotate them. So if you wanted them to go up and down. So I use these a lot, and you can move, you know, these around and do whatever you need to save space. So this is all before you cut it out. And then if you need to use it for an iron-on, you can use the mirror here and it will automatically flip it over for you. Now we're coming to my last and final favorite feature of Design Space, which is actually all the editing tools. So these are the ones you are going to be using the most to create pretty much anything in Design Space. Let's just bring in something so I can show you these. Let me just grab a project. Okay, so I'm just going to bring these in. This is a board I was working on for my daughter here. And so anytime you have two layers in something, you're going to come over here and this is our layers panel. So everything on this right hand side is what I'm going to be talking about. So the layers panel will show you how many things you have in each layer. So right here, just when I have this selected, you'll see that there's 3 cuts right here. And if you want to hide something, you just hit the eye right there and it will go away. And then click on it again and it will come back. So if you don't want part of it, that's how you can hide something. So these are all the different ones that we have. And then the color sync will show you all the different colors you're using. So if you want to simplify colors, you can easily, like this is kind of a black and this is kind of a gray, I think. So if I wanted to make these all black so they cut out on one mat, I can just drag this whole thing up there. If you just want to do one at a time, say I wanted to make this part green, I can just grab this one and bring it down there and you'll see that turns green right here. So this is a great way to just see how many colors you have going on. And if you want to cut everything out on one mat and move things around, you can make everything black and just simply add that in there. If I want to undo that, I'm going to come up here and hit the undo button and you'll see that that goes back. So on my layers panel, so let's go back to this one here. So you'll see down at the bottom these 3 things. You have the slice, which is not showing because I have too many layers showing. So if you wanted to slice, you can only do 2 layers at a time. So say if I hid this one, so now the slice comes up because I only have 2 things showing. But here there's really nothing to slice. But say I wanted to slice out just part of something. What I do a lot with slice is I will grab a shape like a square and bring that down. So say I just want to slice out like just this part of it for some reason. I'm going to ungroup these first so that I can grab them separately. So I'm going to just click on that one and then Control, click on the square, and now you'll see the slice comes up and I'm going to slice that. And then as I move this away, you'll see that this comes out of that. And then you can move all of these. So now you don't have that there. So that's what slice does. Another great thing to do with slice, if you want to just slice like a name. Say if I just put my name in and want to slice it out of, just say like a circle or something. I'm going to bring this up, and then to bring it in front of that, you come to the arrange here and just send to front. So say I just want to slice this. So I will use my cursor and put both of these in a square and then come down to the slice. And you'll see that that slices right out of there. So that's the slice function. So let me put these back in a group here. So to group it, you're just going to come up and click the group there. So now this will all be back together and move around. Okay, so let's type something in so I can show you the attach. So let's say welcome to our text house. And let's just make this a script font for fun. Oh, I don't like that one. Let's... Okay. And I'm just going to use the letter space to move these together. Okay, so I'm going to group these together, and I'm actually going to go to the color sync to make them all the same color. So like I said, I can just move that one down. Okay, so let's say this is like this, and we go to make it. You're going to see that Cricut Design Space moves these around so that it takes up the least amount of space on a mat. But if you want to keep them exactly how they are, say if you're going to transfer this to really anything with vinyl or anything, you put a square around the whole thing and you click attach. So now you will see when we go to make it that this now is exactly how it's supposed to be. So that's the attach key. So make sure you have the attach done anytime that you're going to cut things and want to keep it together. Okay, so the weld function is more for if you are, say, let's put a couple shapes together. So right now you can see how these are two separate shapes. Say if you wanted to make this one whole thing. I'm going to use my mouse and put that around. And then here, click weld, and you'll see it becomes one continuous thing, and it won't cut anything out there. Same thing with the script text. So let's find one. Say like this one. So I'm just going to group these and move them closer together. Okay, so right now, let me zoom this. If I had just attached these so they stay exactly how they are, and if I go to cut them, you'll see that the tails of the E's, and every time it touches, will actually still cut out the tails. So in order to make this one continuous motion, this is where you need to click the weld. So now it's one smooth thing, so it will not cut out any of those tails there. So I always use weld anytime you're using a cursive font to make sure there's no tails in there. So the flatten key is more for if you want to print something and it's multiple layers. So let's put this in. So you'll see we have a couple layers here and it's all set to cut up here. But if we were hit the flatten key, you'll see that now the doubleness kind of goes away and it is set to print now. So now this will be set. You can print it on your computer and then cut it out. If you want to get any of these, anything with layers, anything to be able to print out, you need to hit the flatten button. So you can change that and hit the unflatten. And you'll see that now the cuts are up there. So the contour one, if it will let me do it with this one. Okay, so the contour one, when things are not attached, you know how I showed you how to slice like a heart out. But say you just want to delete some out. The contour here will let you select individual parts of this and delete them. So say I don't want any of these hearts in here. I'm just going to click on all of them. Go over to these hearts. And click on them. So I missed a few, but you see now when you come back, they don't have these hearts. Say you didn't want this whole thing down here. So you click on it until it goes to the light gray color. And then I'll need to click on that whole box, and you'll see in the panel here that the whole box went away. So now that's gone. Say you wanted to actually, for some reason, to fill some of these E's and D's in. So you can click the contour here, and then all those now will just make it full. So that's the contour button. It kind of took me a while to figure out what that one did. But now that I know, I do use it a lot. Okay, so I hope that helps, just kind of getting you started with Cricut Design Space. And there is a lot in here, and I will link to all the other tutorials I have. And so those kind of go in more in depth of each thing in here. But you really just need to get in and play with it. It is really user-friendly, not that hard once you've kind of figured it out, but it can be intimidating at first. So just have fun, play, create stuff. I'd love to see what you created, and hope that helps, and have a great day.